Other than personality traits, my ideal team has a positive, incessant desire to get better, to improve themselves as individuals, and also to improve their team. Each member has an uncommon passion to succeed in what he or she is trying to accomplish. But this does not mean perfection. We got a little messed up in first grade. We brought home a piece of paper. It said CAT, DOG. The teacher put a gold star on the top of that page, a smiley face, and wrote the word perfect, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And we got a little bit messed up because all of a sudden we decided to be successful in the back of our minds, we have to be perfect. And it took a long time before we realized the best hitter in baseball fails to get a hit 2/3 of the time. The best quarterback in football fails to complete a pass 1/3 of the time. And I know some of you are golfers, but I don't think any of you have ever shot an 18, at least on 18 holes. Each person rather works hard to improve the parts of what it is that he or she is doing. Now, tennis, we're at a disadvantage. It's hard and long to measure improvement. A couple of my kids were swimmers. They were lucky. They might lose every race, but they could feel good when they got out of the pool if they had bettered their time. It's not about beating or losing to someone for the first time. It's not about the position that your player, you or I, play on a ladder. Rather, it's emphasizing the parts of the whole, the weight transfer, the ball toss, whatever it might be. I was always pretty vocal in practice. One day, 4 courts away, one of my players hit a ball, we all do, in the bottom of the net. Might have been Martin Blackman, as a matter of fact, because it was a forehand, and Martin's forehand stunk. Don't tell him I said that. And I hollered down, "Martin, that's what I want. That's the way to hit that shot." He looked up at me, indignant. He said, "Coach, that was set point and that ball went in the bottom of the net." I said, "Yeah, Martin, but you turned better. You got under the ball better. You're longer through the hit. Nice going." And he had no clue, and I still to this day he doesn't have any clue what I was talking about. But each member of this team understands the importance of patience in this process of improvement. This ideal team member has a strong vision, which is the key to getting better. Each member of this team knows where he or she wants to go and what it wants to accomplish in life, with his family, relationships, with his job, in academics, or in sport. Each person knows what he or she must do to get better to accomplish this. Helen Keller said, "I can't see, but I have great vision." Walt Disney told his Imagineers, "If you can dream it, you can do it." And this ideal team loves to compete, especially when all else is on the line. Its team members do not duck tournaments or age groups or other teams. It understands that failure is an integral part of progress, and even to fail can be glorious, depending on the preparation, the efforts, and the conditions. To digress, an example of this would be in 1976, We had an old stadium on our campus seating about 500 people. Roscoe Tanner had come to school as our first prime recruit a few years earlier. And he drew a lot of people, a great personality on the court. We finally went out and bought a carpet, laid it down in our basketball pavilion because our crowds were so big. And remember, this is during the tennis boom, the heyday of tennis in the 70s. And we played USC on a Friday night, 5,500 people indoors. We came back the next day and played UCLA on a Saturday night. We had about 1,000 people on bushes, under hedges, looking at the match outdoors. It started at 12 o'clock. We played number 6 singles. Singles were first in those days, 5, 4, and 3 singles outdoors, followed by 2, 3, and 2 doubles. And at 6:30, we moved indoors to a pavilion. We had over 7,000 people at this match. It was 3-all when we went indoors, doubles counting 1 point each in those days. My number 1 player, I had just moved to number 2. So I thought my number 2 player deserved a chance to play 1. He was so intent on proving me wrong, he went out and beat a player who very shortly thereafter became a top 10 world player, 7'5", 6'3". Stanford is ahead 4-3. We go to the number 1 singles match. My player loses a very tough 7-6 in the 3rd set match. At number 1, the score is tied at 4-all. Now we're playing no ad scoring in those days. We go to the doubles match. It's 1:45 in the morning. 7,000 people, not 1 person is left. Most of these people, many people have been watching these 12 in the afternoon. And indoors started at 6:30. The band's still there, the doll isn't still there. 4-all in the 3rd set for the deciding point to win the match. A 3-all point. UCLA breaks serve, the first break in the 3rd set, and they now are serving for the match at 5-4. Another, the red flag goes up by the umpire, another 3-all point. We break them. 2 breaks in a row, 5-all. Yet another 3-all point. Red flag's up. UCLA breaks this again. They are now serving for the set, for the match, and for the overall match. A 3-all point yet again. Flags up. The place, you can drop a pin and hear it for 7,000 plus people. All 4 players are in net. A quick volley exchange. UCLA wins the point, wins the match. My head goes down. I'm exhausted all of a sudden. My players' heads go down. And I went home that night and I didn't sleep. And the more I thought about this match and what I might have done differently or what I've done better, the more I thought about the occasion. Yes, we failed to win the match, but how lucky we were to be on this stage, to have the opportunity to compete in this electric atmosphere. And so when we went out to practice next day, the malaise was still behind, lingering on my players' minds, and I sat them down on the court, and I tried to explain, I don't think they understood what I was talking about, but I tried to explain what an incredible opportunity and an incredible match they had just been involved in. And little by little, they picked their heads up some, and we had a better practice than would have otherwise. It can be glorious even to fail. This team absolutely loves the battle. It realizes if there's no opponent, there is no game. One of the best competitors I've ever had was John McEnroe, and this was just 2 years later. In 1978, he was playing John Sadri in the finals of the NCAA singles in Athens, Georgia, with 5,000 barking fans. No ad scoring. 1 break in this match, 7-6, 7-6, 5-7, 7-6. McEnroe 144 points, Sadri 143. Incredible match. Neither player was going to lose this match. no matter how long they stayed out there in this 90-degree heat with 90% humidity, no one was going to lose. Love to compete. Love the challenge of putting it all on the line. How well it described this great final. Great competition makes us all better. Stanford and Cal in Northern California, Southern California, UCLA and SC. The Giants and Dodgers. Apple and Google. This team understands the importance of team and teamwork to reach a goal to get better. We're all part of several teams. Our home team, our work team, our athletic team. And how beautiful it is when all members of this team are working together to get better. Johnny Wooden, the great UCLA basketball coach, once said, "Give me a player who makes my team great, rather than a great player." On a great team, everyone assumes responsibility to help make that team better.